A light breeze can be refreshing and pleasant. Strong winds, hurricanes, and tornadoes are frightening not only because of the destruction they cause, but also because they can be life-threatening. Winds are the movement of air that occurs due to differences in temperature in different parts of the Earth. They blow from areas of high pressure to areas of low pressure. Thanks to winds and ocean currents, there is a redistribution of heat on the planet. Cold air descends at the poles and moves toward the equator. At the equator, warm air rises and moves at a considerable height toward the poles. It cools along the way and begins to descend around the subtropics. Part of the airflow continues to move toward the poles, while part returns to the equator, generating trade winds, strong winds that are characterized by constant speed and direction. The zone of low pressure that borders the trade wind zone along the equator is called the equatorial doldrums due to the absence of winds. Due to the rotation of the Earth, winds in the northern hemisphere deflect to the right and in the southern hemisphere to the left. Therefore, trade winds blow from the northeast in the northern hemisphere and from the southeast in the southern hemisphere. The prevailing winds, born of the global circulation of air between the equator and the poles, are called the trade winds. They move in three belts around the equator: the trade wind belt, the westerly wind belt of the temperate latitudes, and the easterly wind belt of the polar latitudes. In some areas of the Earth, seasonal winds blow regularly due to local conditions, such as the Mistral in France, the Harmattan in West Africa, and the Chinook in North America. In 1805, English Admiral Francis Beaufort created a scale for determining the strength of the wind, later named the Beaufort Scale. It is widely used to this day. According to this scale, winds that reach 10 to 12 points, with a speed of over 100 km per hour, are considered the most destructive and dangerous. Such winds are called hurricanes and tornadoes. Tornadoes are immensely destructive atmospheric whirlwinds. A tornado can form when two wind systems with different directions collide. The first sign of a tornado forming is a twisting of a dark, dense cloud. Then, a rotating column of warm air descends to the ground. The ascending air currents within the vortex suck up dust, rocks, and debris, which are then hurled around with tremendous force. Tornadoes usually form inside thunderclouds, where warm and cold air currents meet and create a rotating system. As more and more air is sucked in from below, a funnel-shaped cloud grows rapidly from the base of the thundercloud to the ground. The suction force inside the funnel is enormous, and wind speeds can reach up to 480 km per hour or 133 meters per second. Buildings can be leveled, and trees can be snapped or uprooted by the ferocity of the wind. The vortex is accompanied by a deafening roar, and it can cause significant damage that is further amplified by debris picked up by the tornado. The pressure in the center of the vortex is low, causing buildings that get caught in the funnel to explode as the pressure from within forces them to burst. Tornadoes can last from a few seconds to several hours, and their diameter can range from a few meters to a kilometer. The Midwest United States is known as Tornado Alley because hundreds of tornadoes lash the region every year when warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico meets cold, dry air from the Rocky Mountains. On April 19, 1965, 37 tornadoes roared through 6 states in 9 hours, killing 271 people. The deadliest aspect of tornadoes is not the wind itself, but the debris that is picked up and carried by the wind. Unfortunately, tornadoes in the Midwest United States are an example of the unstoppable power of nature that humans have not yet learned to conquer. It is a sobering reminder that the natural forces that created Tornado Alley have been forming and acting for thousands of years, and thus, they change very slowly. Only planetary catastrophes or gradual climate change, which can alter ocean currents or the tilt of the Earth's axis, can significantly affect this phenomenon. However, such global changes can lead to such massive upheavals and catastrophes that tornadoes may prove to be a lesser evil than those catastrophes. Therefore, for now, we must perceive tornadoes in the Midwest of the USA as a potential threat that will remain with us for a long time. Therefore, we must study this phenomenon, search for technologies that can impact the strength of tornadoes, build stronger stone houses, and also keep track of the news to be prepared to act promptly.